Hey guys, Barry here, back for another episode of the Comeback Game podcast. And today's episode is a little bit different as we dive into understanding the life of a virtual assistant in the Philippines. Today I'm privileged to be joined by Junnarin Concillado from the Philippines, who's actually one of the amazing game changer angels we have here. And really wanted to jump on the call today, Junna, just to kind of share with the viewers and listeners out there. I know that hiring virtual assistants has become very popular over the last few years. And I think that a lot of Westerners do it without really understanding too much about you guys, your backgrounds, your upbringings and things like that. We kind of, a lot of people, I suppose, see as an opportunity to get, really good quality staff at a really good cost, but also provide opportunities. So pretty excited to be on today with you. Before we kick off, do you want to share with everyone watching today just a little bit about your background and where you're from?
Yes, I'm from I'm Junnarin Concillado again. I'm from Davao City, Philippines. It's where our president is currently residing. It's where he's from. I'm I'm a Bachelor of Arts major in history graduate in college in Holy Cross of Davao College here in the city. I actually after my high school, I stopped 1 year to before I started college. So and then 4 years after that, I went to college and get my degree. I was hoping I was gonna go and work in a museum, but well, opportunities open in the other areas. So I jumped into being a VA with the help of some neighbors. Um, and well, it's been 4 years since then. I've started working as a VA.
Yeah, fantastic. And for the guys that are out there watching, listening to this today, you may hear roosters in the background or dogs, or
Yeah.
you may even see someone walk through in the background. But it's all part and parcel with the conversation today. And so Junna, tell us, like you said, you've been a VA for 4 years, right? We'll come back to that in a second. What I would like to jump into a little bit is tell the guys out there, like, what was life like growing up for you? Because obviously there's a lot of different, socio-economic cultures and within the Philippines. What was life like for you growing up?
Well, to tell you honestly, our family is not that privileged. We are having big problems with money when I was growing up. Um, my parents, the only one working at that time was just my father, and my mother is a housewife. And well, we are four. There are four of us, and it's hard. It was hard. We had to make sure we eat. We managed to eat 3 times a day. And but well, right now we're doing good. Now that
Yeah.
most of us are working, and my younger sister is now a graduating student in architecture in another university. So growing up, I am a bit. I would say I'm shy. I don't really talk too much to anyone. I don't
Yeah.
go out that much at our house. If I do go out, I just buy some food. That's it. And
Yeah.
well, when I started going to school, well, it's still the same. I have friends. I have some friends, but I don't really go out with them that much because um, I find the talks not boring sometimes because I can't relate. But anyway, they're really close friends I have, and they helped me with going out of my shell when I was in college, and I got to hang out with them in some places, and it's all good now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the beautiful thing. Like I had the privilege of obviously meeting you face to face
Yeah.
4 or 5 months ago, which was just absolutely incredible meeting you and the rest of the team. We've got at the date of this recording, we've got 6 virtual team members in the Philippines, spread across the Philippines, 3 in Davao and some in Manila. Although Junna says she's shy and she may even come across shy, it really underestimates the incredible work that she does with us. Like, currently Junna manages pretty much all of our client care function for ourselves and 100 clients between onboarding those members, making sure they have everything they need, answering all client care related issues, doing a lot of stuff with payment processing, you know, keeping the team motivated, things with the portal, offboarding clients, assisting clients when they need. Like, there's a whole huge amount of work that you do, somewhat, you know, silent in the background. You know, you just get in and get things done and do it absolutely incredibly as well. So, you know, growing up, you know, you guys grew up in a fair bit of poverty. When you say there's 4 of you, is that two kids, mum and dad? Family
No, we are 6 total. I have
Yeah.
3 other siblings, 1 brother and 2 other sisters.
Yeah, yeah. So growing up, three other siblings, mum and dad, grew up quite poor. What was it that seen you move into wanting to become a virtual assistant or getting started there? Like, obviously you're an arts graduate. You said that you had these dreams of kind of working in a museum. What was the shift or the transition to start to work for?
I was just that time when I started, I don't have a schedule on my morning. I started being a VA when I was still in college. My last semester in college, I had no schedule in the morning, and
Yeah.
my schedule starts afternoon until evening. So I said, and my mom said, there's work, there's a VA work available in the neighbors. Do you want to try? It will make use of your time. So I did, and well, it shifted to that. Well, my dream of being in a museum was halted, and well, I actually getting work in the government here is a bit hard to do because there are many stuff to comply, and there are others who are really good than me in that area. But I will. My dream is to really do that, be
Yeah.
in a museum or maybe an archaeologist sometime, be in the field in Egypt and so.
Wow. Wow. That's fantastic. And I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will as well, with
Yeah.
your eyes set on that. What sort of work did you start with firstly? Like, what was the first kind of tasks and roles that you played in that?
My first task was just data entry,
Yeah.
just putting some data in the spreadsheet and copy and paste, sending a few emails. Well, the client has this template, and I just send them. Depends on what the student or the person who emailed is asking. That's
Yeah.
just, and well, after that it shifted to accounting
Yeah.
where I had a crash course because I don't really have any idea about accounting.
Yeah.
The math subjects I had in college are only 2 and not really related to accounting. So I had to do some YouTube video training, and well, that's it. That's how I learned what I'm doing now.
Yeah. Yeah. The interwebs have really, I suppose, provided access to education.
Yeah.
You know, like, you can jump on YouTube and do some YouTube tutorials. And that's one thing that I've always found fascinating around you guys, is how resourceful you are. You know, we can share a task and you're very quick to learn how to do that task or to execute on that task, and very willing to be coachable and be trained. And I see there's a significant difference between, like, westernized staff that almost have a superiority complex around what they're willing to do or not do, as opposed to, and it's a generalization, of course, but as a generalization, you guys are very quick to jump in and give anything a go and find a way to work out how to do it. What have been some of the roles you've done since, or some of the different tasks and projects and things that you've done since?
Mostly are related to accounting, just accounting.
Yeah.
And that entreport and Asana's task, I just cross I just experienced them when I was at my first job as a VA, and then the accounting at the second one, and then accounting again and third, and still hit that in TGC.
Yeah.
Which is great. Actually, like learning about math, but I'm not really good at math.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
like math at all.
Yeah. Yeah. So when we talk accounting, we're talking, you know, accounts payable, processing basic invoices, new client invoices on Xero, reconciling accounts on Stripe, and ensuring that there's a cross match between Stripe and Xero. And then obviously there's a client care function around that as well. You know, email management to clients, Facebook bot stuff was something recently had you doing. you know, creating engagement throughout our Facebook community, and various other roles like that. There's been a number of things that I know I've seen you personally that have come back super quickly as well. What do you feel like? What do you feel has been like the biggest challenge or the biggest adversity or biggest problem you've had to overcome in your life to date? Obviously, I can imagine growing up, being in a family of 6 and not knowing where you're going to get your other meal from was a significant challenge, and
Yeah.
you know, very different to where you are and where you guys are now. What do you feel has been the biggest challenge or biggest adversity?
Well, I think that would be when I was still 17. I had this major health issue. I thought I'm not going to be able to go to college anymore, because it was mild stroke. I had a mild stroke when I was 17.
Wow.
And it was 1 week before the start of the school year. So I was crying the whole time. And we've been going to the hospital for 1 week. And then there was this other doctor who said too that I had a brain tumor, so it added to my stress. But I guess I just didn't give up. Every time I was able to uh, move my body, I would try to write my name, even if it's not that good. I will really try it. I would walk outside and just do stuff and not stay in the house. And I think that made me be a risk taker and take on every challenge that I had ever since then. I was
Yeah.
still, even when I started to college, I still go to the hospital to check on my brain activity. But then after a few months, it calmed down, it slowed down. I am good now for 4 years, and I hope it stays
Yeah.
in the future.
Do they know what caused it? Was it health related, stress related,
It
like diet?
actually, the doctor said there was my veins in the my my veins in my head, in my brain is blocked. There was a swelling, and every time
Wow.
it it starts to swell big, I would lose the right side of my body. And then when it's not, I can move, but actually it's an attack. I have many attacks for that 1 week, and I'm really not sure about at that time if I can go to college. So I was really thankful that by the time Sunday came, I can move freely, and I had already my medications. It was working, and then by Monday I was able to go to school and attend my first class.
Wow.
It was really a miracle, and I'm thankful for everything that happened after then.
Yeah, yeah. That's one thing that I noticed so much about you guys from a culture perspective in our organisation is how grateful and how joyful you guys are naturally all the time.
Yeah.
You know, I remember for us, we tried to tried being the word hire a virtual team. I think 4 or 5 years ago was when we first started, and we had a lot of really bad experiences. You know, bad hires, or what we thought were bad hires back then. And what we later realized is that we just had bad systems and processes and ways of hiring staff back then. And the virtual assistant, I suppose, and outsourcing is a lot different now than what it was 5, 6 years ago. Like, you guys are a lot more up to date with training. There's a lot more education around that, both from Western society and also from your side as well. But, you know, we struggled a lot because we just didn't have a system for finding and attracting and hiring the right staff, and also being able to onboard them and train them and delegate to them and provide them with the support. And I think that that's something that we really shifted. But, you know, back to the cultural thing, you know, I remember 2 years ago when we got it right and we started attracting really good virtual and outsourced, team members, it significantly changed the culture in the Game Changers, because there was this sense of humbleness that you guys bring. There was this sense of joy and this sense of gratitude and appreciation to everything you do. And I certainly hadn't experienced much of that before in my life, both being an employee and being an employer. To have team members that would rock up day after day, regardless of the stresses and struggles of business and challenges, and just be so happy and so joyful. And, you know, you guys really bring that to the team as
Yeah.
well that I see. Like, how do you do that? Like, do you feel that it's bred in your culture? Like, do you feel that the Philippines in general have this happy, joyful culture, or do you feel it's more because of the upbringing that you guys have had, that you know, moving out of that poverty mentality, that you know, that to be more grateful? Or did you find that even when you were growing up, you guys were still happy and joyful, even though that things were quite challenging?
I think it was because of me growing up. We find things still happy even though we're having this problems and issues in life. Might be poor, but well, we're together.
Yeah.
That matters. So, and I believe it's also because well, Filipinos are known to be resilient. When they fall down, they stand back up right
Yeah.
away and find
Yeah.
ways to solve problems.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
And
that's
it's,
culture. That's our culture here in the Philippines. And well, I guess another thing would be upbringing in the family,
yeah. Yeah.
and the influence you have with your friends, the people around you, your environment. It adds to what I show you guys in work.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, is I see that mentality as well, that can do attitude, that nothing's ever too hard, that there's a solution for everything. And that's business in general, is that you can be the most amazing, like an accountant or marketer or salesperson in the world, but if you don't know how to overcome problems or challenges, your skill set knowledge will only ever get you so far. It'll only get you as far as what you know, as
Yeah.
opposed to having staff on board that know how to think, or that know how to problem solve. And I think there's been a myth. I certainly know there has been. You know, we've obviously coached hundreds of clients around the world, and there's always mixed responses. You have a number of entrepreneurs and business owners that are very much all for hiring outsourced labor because, you know, it's cost effective, because you've got access to a wide, diverse range of skills, and because the mentality and work ethic is generally great. Then you have the other business owners and entrepreneurs that are all about keeping the money in Australia and hiring local staff and things like that. And this is how I kind of see that, is that number one, you know, I think that we need to think locally and act globally. You know, to think that the poverty and you know, these things don't exist is a bit narrow-minded. And I think that at the end of the day, the more successful that our company can become, the more that we are putting money back into the Australian market anyway, you know, whether we have outsourced team or not. Secondly, is that if local staff had the same moral and ethics as you guys, we possibly wouldn't need to go outside of Australia to hire staff. If we had staff that, you know, as a society always, you know, rocked up to work joyful and happy and grateful and appreciative and had a can-do attitude and had the ability to problem solve, we possibly never would have gone offshore in the first place anyway.
Yeah.
You know? But I think that, you know, certainly for us, once we nailed that process and once we really worked out how to both find and source the right virtual team members and how to onboard them, you know, hire them, onboard them, train them and retain them, it's been an absolute game changer for our business and meant that we can grow a lot faster. And even more than that, I think the big realization for me was actually when I came to see you guys last year, and we went and did the charity event, and we bought a whole bunch of meals, and we went and, you know, delivered them to local communities and schools. And to really hear the stories and the feedback from you guys around how you've grown up and what you've been through to be where you're at, and that resilience you mentioned before to get to where you are, like, it's just absolutely incredible. And even more than that was to find out that, you know, one of our staff members, Pat, as you know, is in the process of buying a house now. Yeah. As a result of working with us. You know, she's worked with us for a few years and she's about to purchase a house, which is a huge deal. Yeah. You know, she's been supporting her family for years. She's got quite a large family, all living out of the same place. And now she's just in the process of settling on some land and buying her own house, building her own house, which is just like an incredibly humbling experience for me, knowing that she grew up eating nothing but rice and salt. You know, that's what she lived off. What tips would you have to people out there that are watching or listening to this, that are maybe wanting to look at hiring their first virtual team member, or maybe they've already got virtual assistants that they're just not having the best experience with. What tips would you give them, do you think?
Maybe they just have their let their assistant do some do some work on their own. I think some other entrepreneurs have this. You follow this step. You follow this step. Just this step. And when the assistant follows it, and sometimes the assistant has some ideas, and they are not that heard of. They're not that. They don't really say it because there are other entrepreneurs who doesn't want to hear anything and
Yeah.
just follow the steps. So I think maybe just it's a relationship, so you need to listen to each other and
Yeah.
be more open. If your assistant has this idea, maybe you can talk about this and how to make this step or process more effective and more efficient for you and your company, that it will produce more uh, more success for you and, well, the whole company and the whole team. So
Yeah.
I think communication is good. Communication with each other is my
Yeah.
suggestion.
Yeah. And what I think Junna's politely saying as well is that there's a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners that are control freaks
Yeah.
and tend to hire
Yes.
outsourced staff and kind of treat them like slave labor in terms of just like delegate them tasks to be done without realizing that they're a human being, that they're a team member. They've actually got great ideas to bring to the table. I know some of our best ideas have come from you guys. Your input around how we should change things or how we should do things or how we should implement things as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say.
I think, like if we talk about secret sauce, we've been doing this for a long time. We've got, six virtual team members now. We've helped a bunch of our clients onboard virtual team members as well with a lot of success. I think the number one thing for me and what I always share with everyone is that it's actually not too difficult to find a really good quality virtual team member. The most challenging part, and the part that you have to get right and takes a bit to get right, is actually learning the communication piece between the Western employees or Western business owner and the Filipino employees and Filipino staff.
Yes.
And once that communication's right, they can do the task. There's never a challenge around doing tasks, but the way that you need to treat Filipino staff to get the best out of them is almost the opposite of the way that you treat Western team members. And this is where it can be hard in an organization to have that integration where Western team members need to be treated a certain way and Filipino members need to be treated a certain way. And so I suppose for any of you guys out there that are watching or listening to this right now, if you're currently in business and you're wanting to hire one or several outsourced team members, or maybe you've currently got them and just aren't quite having the success that you want or don't quite feel that you're getting the success that you want, what I recommend is clicking the link below, book a scale session to have a chat with one of our team and just see how we can maybe help you to bridge that gap. Whether it's that we help you to find an outsourced team member and onboard them, or whether it's that we help you with that piece in the middle that's most important, which is once you get them on board, working with you and working with them to create that high performance and very long lasting relationship. What's it like, Junna? Like, what's it actually like for you to have an outsourced role and equally to work from home? I know that a lot of VAs work from BPOs and work from large offices. What's it actually like for you being a virtual assistant and working from home and doing the things that you do?
It's actually a great experience. Like I said at the start, I like just staying at the home. I don't like going out sometimes, but being being able to stay at home with my family, seeing them all the time is a great opportunity. It's just I'm thankful for that. And other things would be because it's really traffic. Being at home, working at home is a huge plus. Um, Money wise and effort wise, because our city now is a bit traffic. We have this traffic jam everywhere, and fare for motor vehicles are a bit high. So staying at home, working at home is a big plus to me to financially and emotionally as well, socially.
Yeah.
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 I just
Yeah.
like being at home.
Yeah. And how's the fulfillment like? How does it feel when you like see our clients succeeding or getting results or sharing feedback? Because you obviously you get a role of taking screenshots of all the client wins, and we've got a Google Drive folder with literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of clients wins.
I feel amazing. I feel like I was able to help this guy get this win. It
Yeah.
I feel elated when I see wins at our Facebook group, and I want to see more. I want to help more, and
Yeah.
I really want to have them succeed in what goals what they have uh, listed down in their lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a very great, rewarding feeling.
Yeah.
I got a few more questions. Tell us what are your likes and dislikes? I hear you got a soft spot for Korean boy bands.
Actually, I'm not really that into Korean boy bands. My sister is. Um, I just I'm a bit uh, a fan of Korean boy bands, but really I'm a fan of animes. I just love cartoons. Makes me happy all the time. Um,
Yeah.
I animes ever since I was a child. I even draw them. I had two sketchpad full of anime drawings, I guess, and the rest I think Korean boy bands a bit,
Yeah.
Korean series a bit as well, and
Yeah.
American series are well a huge I like American series as well. I mean
Yeah.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Confirmed.
Yeah, Game of Thrones confirmed.
And like, what do you feel has been the best piece of advice you've ever received from a mentor or a friend, or what's been
I
the best piece of
I
advice you've ever
think
received?
the best advice I get was actually not from someone in person. It's from a TV. It's from a movie. It's actually a
Yeah.
Barbie movie. It's like it says the big or small. There's a difference only you can make. So that that statement just resonated in me when I watched that movie. I mean, I am small compared to my
Yeah.
other siblings, and like at least
She actually is small. Like when I turned up in the Philippines, I had never met any of my team face to face. They rocked up. They picked me up from the airport, and although that we'd seen each other, regularly, weekly on Zoom meetings, the one thing I kept saying to Junna was how small she was, because she could like literally fit underneath my arm here.
yeah, I'm literally small, and it's just that many people around me are just too big for to me, and like well, we are different, but we can do things only us can do, only
Yeah,
I can do. You can do yours, I can do mine, and
yeah,
just that's been my motto ever since that that statement. Big or small, there's a difference only you can make. So that's what I always keep in my mind whenever things I get some. I mean I got stress or
yeah,
I get some feedback that are not that good.
yeah,
I mean I can do this. I can do
yeah.
this.
Well, it
Yeah,
ties back into one of the game changers values, which is together we grow.
yeah,
You know, that everyone, I think the way to look at it too is that, you know, there's a perfect little Junna size hole in the universe that only you can fill.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
only you can fill that hole. Nobody else can fill that hole that's cut specifically for you in
yeah,
this universe. And you have your part to play here, and hopefully in a museum or as an archaeologist
yeah.
uh,
I hope so.
in the future. Yeah. Is there anything else that you feel like sharing with the viewers or the listeners
I think
today?
aside from big or small, there's a difference only you can make. Success doesn't just come right away. It's a step by step process. So just go with the flow and do what you can, and don't be stopped by the stress and the negativities around you, just go. Just just do what you can do, and you'll do great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Step by step.
Yeah,
Yeah.
step by step.
Well, no doubt the people that are watching or listening today have been following us for some time. And, you know, as we've interviewed some of the most successful entrepreneurs and business owners in the world, and we've still got plenty more to come. And that's been the common theme, is that no one's gotten to where they've got without overcoming some level of challenge and adversity. And, you know, the thing about life is that life will never give you anything that you can't handle. God will never give you anything that you haven't got the ability to already overcome. And I honestly believe that the solution to a problem exists before the problem even occurs. What stops us is us overthinking it, us getting stuck in our head, limiting beliefs, the way that we see the world, the way that we see ourselves. And at the Game Changers, we help multiple six-figure business owners that aren't growing fast enough, and we help them in three kind of core ways, as you know. First of all, we help them to monetize their business. So we help them to attract the right quality prospects, convert those prospects to quality clients, and deliver a phenomenal service and product to them. We help them to maximize their business by setting up the right systems, hiring the right team, both locally or offshore, and then putting in place the right strategy for long-term success. And then the last piece, the most important, is around magnetize. We help them to magnetize both their mind and their heart. So we connect their mindset and their intellect with their heart and their intuition, and help them to take action congruent with their bigger purpose. And through that, help them to create a profitable, passion, purpose-driven business that ultimately works without them. So if you're watching or listening today and you're in business and you're not growing fast enough, or you feel you've hit a bit of a brick wall, or maybe just looking to hire an amazing virtual team member, click below, book on the scale session link, have a chat to one of our scaling specialists here at the Game Changers, and we can see how we may be able to help your business get from where you are to where you want to go. Junna, it's always such a pleasure and so joyful speaking with you. Every time I speak with you, my heart just glows and I get this goofy, happy smile. Your presence is absolutely beautiful and divine. And I hope that the guys watching, listening today, and girls, got something out of you and your story. And equally too, if you want to reach out to Junna at all, put a comment below. I'm sure she'd be happy to share with you more around her boy band interests, or her animes, or even what it's like being a VA and how to get the most out of your VA team members. So Junna, thanks so much for your time today, darling.
Thank you to Barry. Thank you for everyone who's listening this. Hope you get something from my this interview. Thank you so much.